All right, so the 4 phases of an IUL. The first phase is going to be the contribution phase. Now, the contribution phase is just you putting in monthly premiums into your IUL or doing annual premiums. Maybe when you started the policy, you did a lump sum, but basically all the years that you are contributing into the policy is part of that contribution phase. The second phase is the accumulation phase. Now, with the contribution phase and the accumulation phase, these two phases can actually blend together a bit, just because if you are 3, 4, 5 years into the policy, now that compound interest has really had time to start to really grow exponentially. And so even though you're still making contributions, your policy is still accumulating cash value rapidly. These two go hand in hand for a while, and then eventually what happens is that then you will fall into the distribution phase. This phase normally happens at age 65, just because that's when most people retire. But with the IUL, I have clients who are retiring at 45 and 50 years old. So really, it's whatever year that you want to retire is when the distribution phase happens. Because all of the money that you've contributed into your IUL, all the cash value accumulation that has ever accumulated within the policy is now getting distributed to you in the form of annual tax-free retirement income. And so, again, these funds are getting distributed to you every year. Again, you don't have to pay taxes on that. It is tax-free retirement income. Then you move into phase 4. Now, phase 4 is obviously once you pass away, all of the cash value and the death benefit then is going to get transferred to whoever you have down on your policy as your beneficiary. And so that money is transferring from you either into a trust, specifically to a family member. But yeah, wherever that money is going, it's still transferring from you to your family, therefore creating generational wealth. Now, since you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and now start sharing my screen with you guys and show you these 4 phases on a real life illustration or a life insurance or an IUL contract. All right, everybody. So I just pulled up an illustration for this guy named Doug. He's a male. He's 32 years old at preferred non-tobacco. His death benefit here I did as a minimum non-max, so it's $276,000. I have it as an optimal switch. So the reason why I have it as an optimal switch is basically the AI computer will determine when is a good time to have the death benefit be increasing and when it's a good time to have it level based on their contributions. And they're putting in $1,000 per month. And so you can see here that this illustration is running a very conservative 7.07%, just because, again, the 30-year historical average for this IUL has been 15.31%. And I can show that here in a little bit. But again, this main reason for showing this is to show the contribution phase, the accumulation phase, the distribution phase, and the transformation phase. So if we look here in the annualized premium outlay, this is how much the client's putting in per year. So you can see that they're putting in $12,000 a year. For their first 5 years, they put in a total of $60,000. They put in another, $1,000 per month, which is $12,000 a year, and they just keep doing that. So this is the from this year. So the contribution phase, you can tell that they've put in $60K and they have $58K in a withdrawal and $54K in a uninterrupted compound interest loan. So this is still the contribution phase. You go into the accumulation phase. Once the amount of money that you have put in, you're earning much more interest on that. So you can see here, 10 years in, it happens somewhere around here, but I'm not going to do the math right here just for the sake of time on this video. But in their first 10 years, they pay in $120K. They've turned $120K now into $136,000. And so now we're finally out of the
contribution phase, and now we're in the accumulation phase. And the reason why I say that is because, again, now your money is starting to accumulate a cash value, which is why you have more money in the account than what you've put in. And so we could see that we continue to stay in the accumulation phase all the way until the client turns 65, because once they turn 65, as you can see, these are all zeros now, so they're done. So they've paid in, let's just look here, they've paid in a total of $360K. They've turned that $360K into into $853,000, 100% tax-free with zero market risk. And so that is super awesome. Again, at a very, very, very conservative 7%. And actually, may I add that this illustration is actually only showing 6%, 6.07%, because there's a 1% charge on this, because we're using the BNP Global Age Factor High Par Select, which is such a good index that they charge you 1% to use it. So this illustration is actually only running at 6.07%. Now we're in the distribution phase. Now every single year for like the rest of their life, they're going to be getting paid out $104,000 every single year in tax-free retirement income, which is insane. That is so amazing. And now if I go here and I look at if I go here and kind of look at like the last page of this, you can see here that, let's look at this. Let's just say again, no, they're not going to live to their 120 years old. Yeah, okay, let's just say they passed away at 97 years old. They have paid a total of $396K of their own money. They have received $1.5 million in tax-free retirement income. And when they pass away, their loved ones are going to also get a $239,000 death benefit on top of that. So imagine that, right? You've only put in about $400,000, then you got paid out $104,000 for the rest of your life, and if you died at age 97, that'd be $1.5 million. And on top of that, you're still going to leave your family with $240K in cash that they're going to be able to use. And so that's amazing. And so that's the contribution phase, the accumulation phase, the distribution phase, and then the transfer phase, or the transformation phase. And so hope that showed you guys some value. If you guys did get any value out of this, I make a bunch of videos like this all the time, so make sure to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and then leave me a sub. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.